Hello Team Methodist, I'm Joe Tye from Values Coach, and I am very glad that you are participating in the Pickle Challenge for charity. And I'm glad for 3 reasons. Reason number 1 is the HCA Hope Fund. See, every time you turn a complaint into a 25-cent contribution, what you're really doing is taking your complaint about what is usually some sort of a first world problem, not really life devastating, into a donation to somebody who really has faced a serious problem, a hurricane, a personal tragedy, something like that. And isn't that a good transformation to make from complaints to contributions? Reason number 2 is the culture of your organization. See, we had more than 700 of your colleagues respond to our culture assessment survey, including more than 250 people who made open comments. And collectively, what you told me is that you think you have a pretty good culture at Methodist Hospital, but it is not a great culture. You told me there is room for improvement. And in our experience working with organizations, including many hospitals across the country, the non-negotiable first step to creating a more positive culture is eliminating the negativity, the negative attitudes, the negative behaviors, complaining, talking about people behind their back, bullying behaviors. And that's something the Pickle Pledge and the Pickle Challenge will help you do. And do in a light-hearted, soft-touch way. Number 3 is really the most important, and that is the impact on you personally, helping you be a happier, more productive human being. See, when you make that promise, I will turn every complaint into either a blessing or a constructive suggestion, it completely changes the way you look at the world. Let me give you a personal example. Shortly before coming to Methodist, I boarded one of those small regional jets. The plane was packed. I was sitting in a seat next to a man who already occupied his seat and half of my seat. Very large human being. Now, my first immediate reaction was, oh, phooey, something like that. Same as yours would have been. And I reminded myself, I will turn every complaint into either a blessing or a constructive suggestion. Now, when I sat down, he looks at me and he says, man, these planes are getting smaller all the time, aren't they? Now, I've been riding that particular jet for more than 30 years, and I know it hadn't shrunk. And I had all these things I could have said, but I didn't. I said to myself, I will turn every complaint, I'm entitled to having the whole seat to myself, into a blessing. So I looked at him and I said, yeah, I know they are, but you know what? It beats sitting on a wooden bench in a Conestoga wagon. Or a constructive suggestion. In my case, it was noise-canceling headphones and a good book. So instead of mentally writing a nasty letter to the CEO of that airline for the next 90 minutes, which is all that flight was, I enjoyed a book sitting this way and listened to something on my headphones. And I was a whole lot happier with myself when I got off than I would have been. But here's the third thing that happened. When you take the Pickle Pledge to heart, it opens up your heart to compassion. See, what that man was really saying to me when he said, these planes are getting smaller all the time, he wasn't talking about the physical dimensions of that plane. What he was really saying to me is, you have no idea how painful it is to be me in a situation like this when I have to share your seat with you. And you know, that was heartbreaking. And if you take that pledge, turn every complaint into a blessing or a constructive suggestion, turn entitlement and resentment into gratitude and initiative, it does open your heart for compassion. Every time you walk into a patient's room, every time you walk into a meeting, have a conversation in the cafeteria, remind yourself of that, and you will find, as I have found in many others, that it is the first step to a positive life change. At Values Coach, one of the guiding insights behind all our work is this: culture does not change unless and until people change. Because culture is shaped by the collective attitudes and behaviors of the people who work in the organization. If nobody's willing to change, if everybody says, yeah, we got to fix our culture, but the problem's not me, then nothing's going to happen. When enough of us make that personal commitment to take the Pickle Pledge, that is the first step to genuinely creating a more pleasant, a more positive workplace, a workplace where you have joy instead of killjoy. So are you willing to be with me on this journey? I hope you are, and I hope you will set a very high standard for every other hospital in HCA, every other hospital in the country, because we desperately need to fix our culture. Thank you.